Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to English Debate 2021. Okay, before I get to the debate, I would like to greet the panelists who will be holding today's debate. Okay, thank you for all of my panels. So, before the run starts, just to introduce the team in opening government is Dandi Syahrul Gunawan. Closing government we have Dandi. In opening opposition we have Ester Farida Silitonga, and closing opposition we have Ester. Okay, debate under the motion of this house will reduce subsidies to tertiary education and reallocate the money to primary education in developing countries. And before the road starts, just also some disclaimer. Please be active in giving an exact point minimum of point per speech, except that it's mandatory in debate. Before you start your speech, please also feel free to mention what is your point. Preference, and I think that is all the best team wins, and without partner, do I call upon Prime Minister? The time is yours.
In the era of regional autonomy, education policies were developed by the central government. Regions and communities that refer to Law Number 22 of 1999, concerning regional government and applicable regulation. Educational funding is very much needed for operational needs and for school administration based on real needs consisting of less salaries. Employer welfare improvements of teaching and learning process activities, maintenance and improvement of facilities and infrastructure, improvement of student development, improvement of teacher professional abilities, school administration and supervision, the teaching and learning process being run over time optimized. If the objective to be achieved meet the requirements that have been determined according to the plan. However, until now, the world of Indonesian education, including basic education, is still facing very serious and complex problems, ranging from the low budgets allocation in terms of from the point of view of financial assistance from the government, the loss of education, of creating of training in improving the professional competence of teachers due to the small education budget in Indonesia, the importance of developing primary school from conventional as to more professional and promising from professional implementation of elementary school is a necessity in an effort the great quality basic education institution from a level of security. The schools covered by this program are public and private elementary, junior, high school. The program began to be implemented in July 2005, along with the beginning of the 2005 academic years. Article 46 of Law Number 20 of the 2003 state that education funding is a shared responsibility with one government. The issue of education financing in the conscience and means the government has a obligation to allot education cost of 20% from the APBN and 20% from the APBD. Education funding influence based of debts of school according to a priority scale which includes teachers' salaries, employers' salaries, welfare, human resource development, financing of facilities and infrastructure, and increasing the volunteer of students and teachers.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for the fire speech. So, moving forward, please keep that in mind. Now I will come with opposition. The time is yours.
Education defined as a conscious and planned effort to form and develop the potential of a person or group of people to have religions, spiritual traits, self-control, personality, intelligence, noble character, and skill needed by him or herself. Society, intellectually superior, morally elegant, competent, and mastering science and technology, and have a high commitment to various social roles in various levels of life. Education plays a very strategic role. Education provides many opportunities to improve the quality of life. With a good education, the human potential that is so rich in a person can continue to be developed. At the social level, education can lead a person to be better achievement and social strata. Cumulatively, education can make a society more civilized. Thus, education, in a broad sense, plays a very important role in the process of transforming individuals and society. In Article 50 of the National Education Law number 20 of 2003 is written that our national education consists of 7 types is education, namely general education. In general education, the priorities the expansion of knowledge and improvement of students' skills with specialization realized at the final stage of education. Number 2, vocational education is education that prepares students to be able to work in certain fields. Number 3, academic education is higher education that is directed primarily at mastering and developing certain disciplines of science, technology, and or art. Number 4, professional education is higher education directed at preparing students to have jobs with special skill requirement. Number 5, vocational education is higher education that is directed to prepare students to have jobs with certain applied skills up to equivalent of the bachelor program. Number 6, religion education is basic, secondary, and higher education that prepares students to be able to carry out roles that require mastery of knowledge. Number 7, special education is education organized for students with disabilities or students who have extraordinary intelligence. In era 4.0 was marked by increased industrial delegation and also automation in various sectors. Interestingly, education is one of the important keys to meet industrial needs. No wonder the demand for access to quality higher education continues to skyrocket from year to year. Therefore, it is higher education that really needs the reallocation of funds from the government, and the government also immediately gets good feedback from the reallocation of fund given to study.
Referring to Government Regulation or PP number 28 of 1990 writes, in the aforementioned of the large governing basic education in Indonesia, on form of basic education that organize a 6-year program of education in elementary school or SD. Elementary school is seen as an education unit whose existence is more urgent. As one form of basic education, primary school is the most urgent educational unit in existence, or clear as al 1971 in Bavadal 1995.
Okay, from this government regulation, it can be seen that there are two most urgent matters in it. Namely, first, through the basic education level, students are equipped with basic abilities that will be very useful in support the level of education take above that. Second, elementary school is an education unit and instills the basic for students to continue their education at the next level. The above statement also hits at the importance of developing primary schools from conventional ones to more professional and promising forms.
However, until now, the world of education in Indonesia, including basic education, is still facing very serious and complex problems, ranging from the low budget allocation in terms of funding assistance from the government, inadequate training, upgrades, improving the professional competence of teachers due to the small budget. Education in Indonesia, although the allocation of the education budget, even though in the amendment to the 1945 Constitution, Article 31, Paragraph 4, has mandated the education budget of less 20% of the total state budget or APBN. The reality that has material in less than the that's provision. Even this still has to be added with the estimate level of budget deviation that's reached 30% was further whence the image of the world of education in Indonesia. The basic weakness of our education lies in the field of school management and administration, funding problem, cultural problems, and geophysical factor.
Okay, the target achievement will currently be different. Why free education? The relationship between free schools in this study is that BOS, assistance in schools, can help the burden of suffering for poor parents so that it can reduce students. The situation will be reduced. In principle, there is no free financing in education today because there is no free financing with its funding. It is hoped that the management of education can be carried out optimally. Education financing does not only involve analysis, the source of funds, but also the actions use of funds. The more efficient the education system, the less of cost needed to achieve its goals. Akbar, regarding efficiency, states that the effectiveness of education describes the level of conformity between the number of outputs produced and the target amount. So the problem of the effectiveness of the cost of education is directly related to effort to find out whether a certain number of costs and can produce a predetermined education. Sometimes is said to be effective if it is done correctly and achieve the desired goals.
Thank you, Liberty Little Opposition, for the speech now. Welcome, member of the government, to open the closing debate. Time is yours.
Quality education is an expensive investment. Public awareness to bear the cost of education will essentially give the community a power to be responsible for the implementation of education. Education is seen as a public sector that can serve the community with various teaching, guidance, and training needed by students. Implementation of PP number 19 of 2005 has implication for the needs to development financing standards, which includes standardizations of components of education costs, which include operational costs, investment costs, and personal costs. So, a strong basic education is needed, and to form it is necessary to regulation. More funds so that the program was optimal. In general, funds have been allocated for basic education such as gift, bus fund, regional scholarship for outstanding children, and scholarship for orphans. However, this requires special attention from the government for the relegation of advanced education in developing countries, because if you want to advance the country, it is necessary to advance the mindset of the future leader of the country, and it starts from basic education.
Thank you for the member of the government for the fire speech. Now I welcome the member of the opposition. Time is yours.
Closing opposition from me is to produce the expense human resource. It is impossible to occur naturally in the sense of without effort and sacrifice. The quality of the expense output is much influenced by the amount and effort and sacrifice given the higher and demand for quality. It will have an impact on the types and sacrifice that must be given up. Sacrifice which translate into cost in a factor that cannot be ignored in the education process. Therefore, it can be estimated how difficult it is for someone who was not have the economic capacity to access quality education. Higher education has a big role for the sustainability of a country, because in this case, the mindset is more focused and designed for the benefit of the country in the future. In understanding the problem of education financing in Indonesia, we need to understand what problem arise and alternative solution. and understanding of this discussion will also lead us to be practice for implementing education financing and the problem that arise in this implementation. The problem of national education never ends. More specifically, when it comes to the issue of the education financing, anyone admits that it is increasingly expensive to enter the current level of education. It is not wrong to say that quality education costs money. However, the problem is that the financial recourse of some people in this country are still inadequate due to concurrent source of income. Therefore, the reallocation of funds is better allocation to those that need great funds, namely higher education. In this case, scholarships for higher education have also been awarded, such as KIP Situation Scholarship, Superior Scholarship, BPDPKS Scholarship, Upper B Scholarship, and other scholarship. In this case, it is not expected to reduce the reallocation of funds given to higher education to be given the basic education.